Okay. I think that's about as beautiful as I'm going to get it. It's just...
Then it's just perfect.
Okay.
So, you found me, and most people, when they find me for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Today is, May 30th?
Correct.
Yeah, May 30th, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are no accidents in the universe. This random chaos sets everything up beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
And you walked into the door, and now you're curious about what happens here behind Journey Guidance and Good Vibration Crystal doors.
Surely, yeah.
Yeah. So, when people come for a psychic reading, what we do is we formulate a question. A lot of people say, well, will I win the lottery? Will I not? Will I get this new car? It's not so much about will I, but more so, what do I have to do to get what it is I want to get? And is it something that's beneficial for me to even strive for?
Okay.
So I like to formulate questions in a manner that gives us a lot of information. So I always like to start with, what do I need to know about?
Okay.
And then you can fill that in. I myself keep a record on all of my readings. I have a lot of repeat clients and friends, and they come back and we say, okay, how'd that last reading do?
Right.
And they'll tell me, amazing. I mean, it's so much fun. They said, it did come out the way you said, but I didn't perceive it like that. Or when you told me this about it, it really happened. I didn't believe it would be like that, and then it was.
Mm-hmm.
So the word tarot in its original form means royal road. Okay. So what the tarot is for is to get us on that royal road, to access the wisdom that we need from a higher being. It was outlawed by the church in the 1400s because the readers were getting the income from it. The church was not.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Kind of an interesting trick. So while you've been sitting there, you've been thinking in the back of your mind, what do I need to know about what?
Actually, I was curious. The one thing that crossed my mind was, an idea that I came across was, I wonder, are you going to tell me something I don't want to hear or I do want to hear? I probably want you to tell me that something I don't want to hear so I can learn from it.
Yeah. I would say, instead of do want to hear and don't want to hear, what do I need to be open to hear what I need to hear? So that way, if it's not what you do want to hear or what you do want to hear, correct, it's okay. It's what do I need to know to be open to hear what I need to hear?
Right.
And so we don't put a judgment on it's good or bad. Because in the end, if you got hit by a car and you really wanted to get out of that car anyway because it was a mess.
Right.
At the minute, it's like really inconvenient, but then down the road, the insurance paid you more money than you thought the car was worth, and you're up again. And
right.
So was it a good thing or a bad thing?
Then life goes on.
Life goes on. So we just say, okay, this is a thing. This is happening. This thing's happening. So we could ask a question or formulate a question like, what do you need to know to be the best human possible? And then we could put a time frame on it in the next 3 months or 6 months.
Okay.
Do you like that question? Do you want to reformulate it? I'm not hurt if you have a different take on it, because it's got to be just right.
So you're asking me the person I want to be?
Yeah.
I think that's something I'm just building towards every day, like a stepping stone. Well, I see it as a climb.
Okay.
Because someone told me something that threw me off.
So what do I need to make my climb easier?
Realizing it's okay to make mistakes. I think
certainly.
That's one. Being more patient is another one. I think I have to. I've said it once. I said I may need to treat my brain like a child and learn to grow it instead of letting it run like a robot. Because I feel like it's so easy to get in the trends of doing
what everybody expects. Okay, give me your birthday.
October 7th.
Well, you have an executive attitude.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur out here.
Yeah, you should be running something. If it's not your business, you should be running other people's. You have the personality of a faith seeker, which means, I'm writing.
Right.
Yeah. So, which means that you're going to have to find faith in a higher power. Doesn't mean religion. It means spirituality. Your personality craves a connection to a higher power. And what year were you born?
96. On that day, a very handsome man was born.
Sitting in front of me.
Sure, it came.
Exactly.
It finally came to you. You just didn't know it.
No. Okay, so let's see. We have 9, that'd be 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you have the life path of a nurturer. Now, in the life path of a nurturer, you will be wanting to take care of people, dogs, animals. You're going to want to just nurture life, even plants. Nurturers are very humanitarian, although they are not a humanitarian, but they have a humanitarian aspect. How can I make somebody's life easier? How can I give them more information?
Right.
The faith seeker, that's where your intuitive self comes in your personality. Faith seekers need time to revive themselves, be out in nature. Anything near water is really good for them. And this executive attitude, executives are either on the top, like the number they are, or on the bottom. So you're going to be here to have the attitude of balance, not all in or all shut off. So
that's what I struggle with, balance.
Yeah. So let's ask the question of the cards. What do I need to know to have better balance in my personal life?
Right on.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
About you. You have parts or no?
Do I have parts?
Like parts that are like different like entities in your mind that like talk to you.
Yes, I do. What do I need to know to have better success, right?
Right. Or understanding.
I think it'll all be part and parcel there, yeah. Do I have parts of me? There are aspects of my being that if I will ask a question, they will give me the answer.
I felt that.
Okay? Yeah. And when that happens, for a lot of people, it can be quite disconcerting because you wonder, well, who's talking?
Right.
But yet that's a question we all should be asking ourselves. Who is talking? When a voice comes to you, a thought, and says, oh, you don't need to do anything tonight. Just kick back on the sofa and watch TV. But you know you have deadlines.
I fight it every day. Well, I don't fight as much as I used to.
Okay, but you know you have deadlines.
Correct.
Who's talking that tells you to lay there and be still and not do your job?
Right.
You have to figure that out. Was this my 12-year-old kid that doesn't really want to be told what to do?
Right.
Because that doesn't fit the executive format now, does it?
No.
No. So you have to ask who is talking. So when I get up in the morning, when I go to sleep at night, I make sure I stay as close to the light as I can. The light being the hallmark for divinity.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't go to dark places. I don't have to shop for my information there. If you know what I'm saying.
I see what you mean.
The closer you are to the light, the less you'll hear from negative energies.
I felt that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to use these cards. I think they're totally adorable. My friend gave them to me. And they have little witches' hats and little cats on them.
Right on.
And I think that hats are just hats. People who don't wear hats cast spells upon us every day. And they say, you'll never amount to this, or you're a loser, or you really think you're something. Those are spellcasters. So you don't have to be wearing a particular hat.
To be one.
Yeah, we were fed some things that were not true. And because people chose not to question them, they lost their intuition. They became a fact versus a fallacy. So go ahead and split the deck with your non-dominant hand and then restack. While thinking, what do I need to know to be a better success in my life? Just one time.
Oh. Wait. I forgot to stack it back on top of itself again.
Okay. Here, we're going to go again.
Thank you.
You're fine. You can cut it out, right?
Because you said my non-dominant hand, I said, oh.
Okay. No, you're going to split it one time. It's a new language, a new amount of words. Yeah,
right.
So it's okay. There's no mistake. It's all learning. In fact, that's the other thing I was going to say. You want to be a success, an ultimate success. If you focus on your spiritual journey, that will make everything else come in line. Edgar Cayce said the mind is the builder. So whatever you're thinking now is creating your future tomorrow. Your future is happening in the form you're making it right now. You're going to split one time with your non-dominant hand and then restack while thinking the question, what do I need to know to be a better success in my life? Go for it. get up one more time than you were knocked down.
Okay. Now, I didn't did this. I didn't realize. I don't see a dadgummit thing. You know what? I'm gonna do audio. Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, did we not have audio before?
We did. It's right here.
Okay. Because that was good information for you.
I know. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Ten of Swords. In a standard deck, this Ten of Swords is you got stabbed in the back and you didn't see things coming. So, awareness is going to be important to you. There are going to be aspects of your personality that you're going to want to die.
Mm-hmm.
Now, death has 5 phases. Death, decay, fertilization, gestation, and rebirth. So death is not final. To the physical form it is.
Right.
But the spirit, as I said before, the antimatter, which is spirit, it's always in form. It just takes a different shape. So you're going to leave the things that don't suit you behind. Even people who may be presenting themselves as a friend, be careful. Watch your back, basically.
Okay.
Then we have the Six of Wands, which is a nice nurturing card. In the Six of Wands, you've reached a measure of success and people are happy for you, and you're actually able to bless other people. So it looks like you're leaving behind a person you are no longer capable of being and wanting to be a more benevolent, more kind person.
Mm-hmm.
Your goal in the immediate future is self-rulership. King of Swords, he rules his kingdom. Very educated, and it's a variety of educations. He's good at making contracts. He's good at sending other battlers, military, out to war. So pick your battles carefully, because here you had the Ten of Swords. So here you were the victim. Here you're the one who can make peace.
Who's wanting peace?
Who is wanting peace?
Myself.
Yeah, make peace. This guy here, the King of Swords, he's ruling a kingdom.
Right.
Right? Down here in the situation going on, all this kingdom worked against you. You got Ten of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So when you have an opportunity to go back and do things over to people who may have hurt you, be a kind and gentle ruler. Just because you have a sword doesn't mean you'll have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, and these are things that are going to make you a success. Don't have vengeance. No vengeance. What got you where you are? 3 of Coins. It looks like you decided you wanted to do something new and you got some advice on it. And you were planning, what is it I can do? How can I make this look and work on my behalf? Behind you, you have the 5 of Coins.
There's 3 of Coins and 5 of Coins?
Yes. There's 1 through 10 of all of the coins,
okay.
All of the swords, all of the wands, all of the cups.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then there are the major arcana, which if we're looking here, he's out of the major arcana. And you only have, and judgment's out of the major arcana. So you have 2 out of 10 that are out of the major suit. So this tells me these are not difficult seasons to move through for you.
Okay.
If you had all of the major arcana, you'd have a lot of intense authority. So what I would say is, right now, the person you're fighting is only yourself.
I say the same thing every day.
There you go.
I say it every day. I'm like, Chris, you're fighting. But I love myself to fight myself. But why am I doing it? It's been an ongoing battle.
Yeah, but are you the one stabbing yourself in the back?
No.
Being your own worst enemy? Are you your own worst enemy?
I'm my own worst enemy.
Then you're the one who's targeting yourself. It's time to stop targeting yourself. Stop. When you were a kid, were you bullied?
Yes.
Okay, so you were bullied as a kid, and you had a challenging upbringing too. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. My parents weren't together. I was the only child.
Okay, so you had some challenges going on there. So, if, for instance, when the school kids quit bullying you, and one of your parents or whomever around quit bullying you, you still bullied yourself.
I kept doing it.
Yeah, they're not here, so stop the inner bully. So here, this card tells me it's time to have rule over yourself.
All right.
Here, this is where you're getting what got you in the shape you're in. Again, you got expert advice. Things need to change. I need to make a new plan. Over here, As I said before, what's right behind you is the 5 of coins. These people are a little handicapped. They're not quite ready for where they're going or how they're doing it. And you can see there's a lantern here, and it's only shedding a little bit of light. And she's watching where that lantern's going.
Right.
Doesn't realize this is a church here. She had safety.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell you to be aware that the safety you seek is closer than you believe. You're not looking in the right places. Okay. 5 of Wands. Quit the fight. These women are fighting over whose recipe is better. Everybody's got the same size spoon, the same size kettle, the same ingredients, and they're fighting and arguing with each other. This could be a task going on inside of yourself. So, can you think of any areas you really need to make peace?
Probably not being strong enough as a child to... But then again, I can't be hard on myself as a child because I didn't know. I think I was just living as a child. But I can't batter my child self for not knowing.
When you were a child, you weren't the adult you are now.
No. I have to learn that I make mistakes, and I learned. That's why I asked you about the parts, because I feel like there's literally, 5 parts of me. I gave names and everything.
Okay. Aspects of your own personality that might try and rule you. Give me the name of those parts.
I have Malone, Fernando, Old Man, Brandon, and then there was Chris.
And then there was Chris. There would have never been these had it not been for Chris.
Right, but I had to, and the thing, that's the 5 parts, but I've slowly learned that I boiled it down just to Malone at this point. Like, I've learned that my part has parts within itself, but I've conjured up all these parts. I think maybe the sense of loneliness, I believe.
Sure.
Why I came up with these loneliness when it came up with these parts. But these parts, I've talked to my parts, and Old Man is one that's very caring. Malone is very, I guess we call it executive. Brandon is like the cool kid. Fernando is very, I won't say erratic. He's himself. He's not scared to take chances. Malone's the same way. But Fernando, he likes the beauty of life. And the Old Man loves to enjoy life. I feel like that's where my old soul comes from. He just loves life. Like, he just says, like, things gonna be hard. It's like a reassuring part of mine.
And what about Chris? Where's he coming to play here?
After a lot of counseling sessions, I've learned that was like the kid me that I shut off. But I've slowly started taking him out of traumatic situations and learning that there's things that I couldn't control. So now I've moved them.
Things you couldn't control.
Things I couldn't
Things
control.
that were happening behind you didn't even know about.
Right.
So the kid you shut off. So this Chris guy, we might want to go back in a Reiki session and do what's called a soul retrieval and gather up that. What happened when you were 14? Do you remember? Anything major going on at 14 years old? Would have been like junior high going to high school.
So how the hell you catch that? I thought of suicide, I think I was around 13, 14 years old.
I'm a psychic. How do I catch it? It's in your energy field.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So, in essence, what you did, and I'll tell you this in 1 second. 1 second. I'll tell you how it is in your energy field, and I'm going to give you an extreme example. I was doing Reiki on a client, and I got to her neck, and I said, have you ever had dreams or nightmares that you'd been hung? Because I saw a noose, an energy noose around her neck. And she said, well, and I had asked her earlier what happened at 23 years old. I remember this. And she said she couldn't really remember anything. But then after, when I asked her about the noose on her neck, she said, well, now that I think about it, when I was 3 years old, it was a very traumatic year for me. And I thought of killing myself. And I was going to hang myself. I said, well, that energy's still hanging around your neck. We need to get rid of it. So the energy of this person, Chris, that you placed last, who you wouldn't be here without, still thinks of himself through the lens of suicide.
Mm.
So we need to get that 14-year-old kid back. And what you'll do is we will go back to, through self-hypnosis, to that moment, and we will get you to move through a cloud into the room you would have been in that at that age, because that's usually your safe spot. And you will have a talk with the 14-year-old aspect of you, and you will tell them that, hey, it's Chris. I came from the future. We were talking about stuff when we were 14 that never happened, and we need to have you back so we can enjoy our life. I want you to come with me. I'm telling you, everything's going to be fine. Will you come with me? And then I've never had that, never in all the years I've been doing this, had anybody's younger child say, no, I don't want to come. In fact, it's opposite. They're like, I've been waiting for you. Waited here.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah. So we can get that guy back. Get him all in one piece so he's not so scattered. Doesn't think things are against him. So, got a little homework we're going to do there. Get to that.
Thank you.
Hey, no
Okay, I've been still trying to talk to my younger self, but I think I don't see myself as that kid. I see myself as like younger than that, though.
Okay. Any traumatic experiences at 7? Give or take.
I think I was molested. Yeah, I was molested, I think, around 5, 6 years old, I want to say. 4, 5, or 6. But I've talked to my counselor about that a couple times. But I won't say I hold it. Well, I'm sure you've probably read my energy 15 times already. But I've talked to it, but I've learned, I've learned that through a lot of sessions, that wasn't my fault.
You had no control over that whatsoever. None.
And I've learned that I'll keep battling like I should have knew, but I can't.
You shouldn't have known.
But the thing my friend had told me was, how do you know what you don't know?
You don't. Well, how old was your the person who harmed you? Were they an adult or a kid?
I think it was a kid. It was like, if he's that age, I think he was maybe 10 or 11.
Okay. So at that age, if they're around 10 years old, they're
I feel like that person was
curious. They're just curious. What does yours look like? What does mine look like? You know?
Right.
What do we do with these things?
Right.
I don't know that person that made him a sexual offender. You know, I don't know. But when kids are little, they're exploring. And then society says, oh, you can't look at somebody else's parts and you can't touch them.
Right.
For God's sake. Well, what's going to make you want to have that drink but someone telling you you can't have a drink?
Right.
Hello.
Like defiance.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So that child was probably just doing what that child felt natural doing. Could there have been a twinge of it's not right? Could have been, but we'll never know. So all you can say is I did the best I could.
Right.
Okay? So we can go back and get that little one first too.
Right.
Either one. 4 of coins, your attitude. You've got a little bit of resource and you're concerned about how to hold on to it. A little bit of money here, but you're sitting on it.
Right.
Got a few coins here you're kind of casual with, but you're waiting for someone, like, are they coming in to get your money? Are you afraid? Have you left a door open, a window open? That's your attitude. In a standard deck, 2 coins are under a person's foot, one's here as their shield, and then one's being balanced on their head.
Right.
Which tells me that you probably have enough finances to do okay, and you need to get rid of fear.
I noticed that too.
Okay. Just saying. So, what's going on around you? Great card. You have the Judgment card. I give up my old life, I want a new one. The challenge in the Judgment card is there's always arguments. When you go before a judge, there will always be an argument. But this is divine judgment. This is God-sourced energy, or Mother Earth God-sourced energy. So you're ready to get on a new path and have this metamorphosis, like you turning into this butterfly from all this mush growing up. But you have to understand it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be who you are and be different and do things differently. Everybody does their own self.
Correct.
They might act like they're acting like someone else. So get on the path. Ace of Swords, time for you to gather all the energy you can, all the electricity from the sky, and manifest it into a physical form.
Like ideas?
It's everything.
There you go.
It's power. It is energy. It is the ability to foresee events before they happen. It's ability to make your mark and make your move without harming anyone and getting what everyone needs simultaneously. 3 of Cups is your outcome. Your outcome is it's time for a celebration. You need to celebrate more life than you do worry about it or have fear from it. Our initial question was, what do I need to know about how to have better success in my life? A little more celebration, a little more accessing the universe, a little more allowing the divine to do what it needs to do in your life, a little more freedom from fear of lack of finances. There is no fear in the universe. There may be laziness on our part, but there's no lack of gifts that the Creator would like to give us. This argument, I think, goes along with this Judgment card. Why don't you argue for yourself more than you argue against yourself? Things will change.
Okay.
I deserve better. I'm a human. I'm on this planet. All this arguing and fussing took their focus off of what they were arguing about. They all wanted to be the best.
All right.
And none of them was willing to watch it and work with the recipe that was given them. Your life is like a recipe. So you want to watch and work with it just the way it unfolds.
Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a very interesting reading.
Yeah. Are there aspects in your business that you feel you need to get more insight into, more wisdom?
Yes, I've been slowly learning that. Like, I guess there's so many, like I could say with the swords. I mean, there's so many different things I want to do. I'm very, like, I think of movies, I think of TV shows, I think of skits, I think of podcasts, I think of t-shirt design, I think of art, I think of, when they're just flying. But
all the ideas and nobody's watching the pot.
No one's watching the pot.
So what you need to do is pick one, like this Ace of Swords, and give it all you got. Get that sword out there in the universe and deal with it and make it happen.
Mm.
Do you know that the man who invented the Auric vacuum cleaner went broke several times? He finally had to finance his own invention. I think it was selling his house. Bill Gates, home lane years, the guy worked out of a garage. Anybody who's made any mark on our planet has had to pay a price. And you've got to be willing to pay the piper, pay the price to get it done. So you have to pick a project you really, really believe in. Really believe in.
I believe it.
And you don't realize how long it's going to take once you decide to do it. You think, I believe in it. It's going to be fine.
Oh, no, I feel like it's going to take I feel like that's why I'm trying to learn patience now.
Oh, yeah. Starting your own business will take patience. It definitely will. But going over the same thing over again and improving it every time you do it will build you exactly what you need to build. You'll look back before you got some expert help and think, oh my gosh, if I stuck with that idea that I knew it all, I'd have been sunk years ago. It's a good thing I realized I don't know it all and I need to get some help with this.
Right.
So that's what you need to know to have better success in your life. Put an end to the person you used to be.
It's like it was all like related to the same thing. I don't know what that was. It's like it was all related to the same thing. It was just trying to get rid of the old. But I'm not trying to get rid of the old. I'm trying to more understand the old.
Understand the old and then integrate what you left behind. Integrate what you left behind. What do I do with it? Where was I handicapped? Yeah.
Mm.
We got another question. What's our question going to be? We got to find one.
Part of me came to mind is like, it's still that same thing that she said. I don't know what I don't know. Like I can't know what I don't know. So I feel like my handicap was lack of knowledge.
Okay. Again, these people handicapped, they weren't prepared. They didn't know there was going to be a storm. They didn't know that their light would only go so far. You know, today's flashlights lead you down the road, not just in front of you, like this little lantern. Yeah. Right. So how can you be, what do you need to know? What can you do to be more aware of the unknown? Let's ask that question on the cards.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you what you can do before we even go into it. Because I asked the question, remember we were talking about the voices? I asked the question, what can you do to be more aware of the unknown? And I heard the answer, your third eye. There are supplements for your third eye. Are you familiar with your third eye?
No.
Okay. In our human energy field, we have, let's go with seven major chakras. There are thousands of them, and there are even 5 other minor chakras that we work with. So in the Bible, Christ said, let your eye be single. I believe he was talking about the third eye, which is activated through the pineal gland.
Okay.
Third eye is like an all-seeing eye. You know when you ever slammed your foot on the brakes just to realize a car just ran a red light and you didn't see it?
Right.
That was your third eye, saw it first and took action over the body.
I felt that.
So the more you integrate the activity of the third eye within your energy field, the more you're going to foresee things. And it's not just in the front, it's behind you as well. It's 360 degrees.
Correct.
I was sitting in a chair at the gym, a massage thing at the gym the other day, and I was like, I wonder if that lady's gotten up behind me yet. And I opened my eyes to see her leaving. I was like, how did I do that? And then I realized, I got eyes in the back of my head, just what your parents told you when you were kids. But Edgar Cayce, he used those eyes in the back of his head to study. He would be able to lay on a book, and when he got up, he could tell you everything that was in the book and on the page. I had a client who I saw a couple weeks back, had a knee problem, some other problems. I asked him about, are you interested in buffaloes? He goes, oh my gosh, yeah, this buffalo keeps coming to my head. I'm like, okay. So I pick out the book, Totem Animal Buffalo, open the book to the buffalo. That's third eye activity. I asked him if he had a problem on his right leg. He said, right knee. He said, yes, I have. I said, have you been bowing to people lately? And he said, I was acting like a 19-year-old kid because I wanted to please these people that I was at a business meeting with. And I said, okay, well, let's get out the Metaphysical Anatomy book. Opened it up right to that page. That's the third eye. Lost a diamond earring. Told my husband I'm not going to look for it again. It's gone. I'm just going to be at peace with it.
Right.
After I'd looked on the sofa and tore it apart, I put my hand down the sofa while I was watching TV. My hand, unbeknownst to me, because of the third eye, found that diamond earring. I looked at him, I'm like, my hand just found the diamond earring. Third eye. So if you want to know what's going to happen in your future, not only do you build it and create it today, but you find out, what am I supposed to be doing in my future? When I was 10, I said, I'm going to move to Tyler. I held that. I remembered I would. I held it in my mind all these years. I'm 65. How would I know that?
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, did I know I was going to do this? No, but I knew I was going to do something here.
Right.
So you have to know what you're going to do, where you're going to be, what you're going to do, what your life, needs to look, what you want it to look like. You're the builder. You're the mind.
Right.
The mind accesses the third eye. Are you getting a picture?
It's the weirdest thing because, I feel like my mind would know something before I see it. Like, I would tell myself something, and I was like, I don't get it. And then sure enough, later on down the road, it would just click.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I was meaning when I said that.
Yep.
I just won't know it for a couple weeks or a couple days.
It might sound a little different, like I said.
Right.
But you'll know when it hits. You'll be like, oh, that's what it was. Makes sense.
The recent one I had recently, I think I'm starting to learn is, do you hear the colors?
Oh my gosh, yeah. You can hear colors. You can smell colors. Colors have a molecule of life all their own. One time I saw a wizard, and I was like, whoa, that poor wizard, he's in the box. And then I got up close to it, and the colors were shimmering like Tiffany glass. And the wizard started moving back, and I was like, wait, wizard, don't go. And then I realized the box wasn't a box, it was a windowsill, and I could crawl out of it.
Right.
So I thought, well, I'm going to get out there and look. I'm going to follow that wizard. And in my dream, I followed the wizard, and he goes like this, like turn around. And I looked back. I was the one in the box. The wizard wasn't. Do you follow it?
I see what you mean.
Don't be in a box.
Right on.
Get out and find your inner wizard. Deepak Chopra has written an amazing book on the inner wizard, of which I found after I had my vision of my inner wizard. So the wizard could be construed as the magician in the tarot card. So let's see if the magician shows up in the next cards, in the next reading, because we're asking, what can I do to be more aware of the unknown. And we're saying here, help your third eye. And there's a supplement you can take for that. It's called Haritaki. It's a mushroom. It's not hallucinogenic or anything. It just helps to loosen up and decalcify the brain and the pineal gland. Okay. So you could take that. It's inexpensive. $20 for 3 months supply.
Wow.
If you're taking one. Okay, so here we go. What can I do to be more aware of the unknown? Trust yourself. I just heard that too. Trust yourself. You second guess yourself. That's why you go from project to project. Because you think you're going to fail in one, so you abort the mission and go to another one.
God damn it.
Yeah. I saw it.
Get on my nerves. You ain't supposed to be doing this, man. This is supposed to be a casual thing. You're supposed to be telling me how to make a lot of money. That's what it's supposed to be.
This is casual.
I know.
Yeah, it's casual. Trust yourself. Follow through. Stick to the plan. So I had a plan in my head a few years back. I was like, I really want to put all my rocks and crystals and all my energy work that I do and the hairdressing that I do down the hall, I want to put it in a house. And I kept thinking about, I need a house. I need a house. I need a house with 35-mile-an-hour ingress and egress. People cut traffic going. I need somewhere where people can see the building. I need all these rooms because I got to do all these different things I like to do. And I have to have all my rocks and crystals in one room. And when COVID hit, I decided, it was before COVID, I'm going to find me a house. Told a friend of mine, she said, here's a house. I want you to go look at it. I drove past this house. I pulled up out front. I'm like, that's my house. I called her. I'm like, hey, I'm out front on East Houston. I love it. She goes, no, that's not the house I want you to see. I never went to the house she wanted me to see because I saw the house I needed to see.
Right.
And bought this house.
And here we are today.
Split this with your non-dominant hand one time and restack. But I had a vision. And so I'm telling you, have a vision and stick to it.
I see what you mean. So weird things, like sometimes I kind of just know.
Of course you do.
I gotta trust it. It's just a cut.
Perfect. So we agreed that trusting yourself, following through, and sticking to the plan are good ideas. Okay. Oh, nice. Here we have the Ace of Swords, which was in this position here before. It was in the position of how you really feel. You really want to trust this energy. You want to be a victory. This is a card of victory.
Okay.
It's a new beginning. That's what an ace is, a new beginning. Oh, look at you. Over here. 4 coins, 4 coins. Yep. You're wanting to have a little bit of money. Little place outside of the major thriving metropolis. Have investments. Be able to spin the wheel of fortune whenever you want.
How you read me like this? Because I went to the big log cabin. I see it to the highest degree. Because this guy asked me, is it harder to fall? Is it harder to climb? That messed my mind up for months. And then my mom finally told me one day, she was like, well, it's not, I think when she told me, she more explained, like, it's not the sense of the fall. I think it's more the sense of, like, it's steps to get there.
Getting back up there again.
Right, but I say, because like I said, it's easier to fall. I think I'm more scared of, I always wanted to take the leap, but is it more the sense that I'm scared of falling and failing? But I don't think the sense of failing, I think failing is more of how I feel about my failures, not someone else's failures.
How do you know they're failures?
Oh, in the sense of people thinking I'm a failure. I'm sorry.
What do you care about what people think? Those are perceptions. They're not even thoughts. They're not even real. You don't even know. Most people don't even know what they're thinking. They have no control over their thoughts. They're just having thoughts.
I think I hold people too much accountable.
Other people's thoughts are none of your business. You don't live your life by them. You know, I was at a powwow and I was teaching, and when I finished, they opened the questions up for paranormal things, psychic things. And my dad just happened to bring his friend Frank and was sitting in the audience listening. And Frank turns to my dad and says, hey, do you think the way she thinks? And my dad said, it doesn't matter if I think the way she thinks. It only matters if she thinks the way she thinks. So it doesn't matter if anybody thinks the way you think. Think the way you think. That's what makes the expression of divinity in you unique. Don't be afraid.
That's the same thing I told your friend out there.
My girl, yeah. Okay, so your goal in the immediate future is the high ground. 7 of Wands. And it's a perfect card for what we're talking about. Yeah, other people might be coming against you, but you don't have to worry about it. You got the high ground.
Right.
So who cares? It's going to take a little bit of energy to knock them down or keep them back, but you're on the high ground. So what got you where you were? We're at... The question is, what can I do to be more aware of the unknown? Be generous with others, and avenues will open. Be balanced. Be compassionate. If you see someone in need, help meet that need. In fact, one of the first things I did when I moved out here, back home, was I went and I signed up for hospice. I wanted to be a hospice volunteer.
That's bold.
Do what?
If that's bold.
Yeah, no, that's what I felt I needed to do. I wanted to do this.
Right.
I wanted to help people as their lives were terminating. I wanted to be there for them. I met more clients and more friends out of giving my time than I would have ever in spending money marketing.
Unbelievable.
Give yourself something to volunteer to. Give your time to somebody. Give your energy. You might not have tons of money, but you can give your energy.
Right.
A couple hours a week. It's not hard, and it's gratifying, let me tell you. There's the card I was looking for, the Magician. I told you about the tools.
You just knew that something was going to pop up.
I knew it was. It was in the cards. So, stick to the plan. How do you stick to the plan? You practice using your tools. They're all here on the table. Discrimination, emotional stability, contact to Mother Earth through finances. Money is just earth energy. When you learn how to balance your energy, you'll learn how to balance earth energy. And I tell people with earth energy or money, live below your means. Live below your means. Then you will always have something to hold on to. And this card here definitely speaks to that concern. Live below your means and you'll always have something to hold on to.
Right. I
think I mentioned something about taking a spiritual approach to life and then everything else would work out the way it's supposed to.
Oh my God.
Well, there's our high priestess. How fun is this?
It's like my mind been blown like 3 times.
Is that all? I used to better than that. That's funny.
I mean, I think because I'm willing to be more open, like you said,
Sure.
And now I'm more open, and now I'm trying to, like I said, my highest degree, not what highest, my highest thing is just to learn more and love myself more.
Okay, now would we say that's a panther or a black cat on your shirt, or a jaguar?
Panther.
Panther. Okay, so the panther and or the jaguar are the top of the food chain. They are not the bottom. They are the top of the food chain. You see where this card's over here? Arguing with who's the best? You don't have to think about that anymore. In your world, you are the best in your world. You just didn't realize it. You thought you were the prey. You're not. You're at the top of the food chain. Yeah. So in the High Priestess, she sits between mercy and severity. Mercy and severity.
What's severity?
Being severe, hard on yourself.
Okay.
Being merciful, being gentle and kind. This card tells me you need to be a little more balanced with how you treat yourself.
We were just saying that.
I'm sorry, the cards are picking themselves today. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So this crescent moon signifies so now that you know you've got some energy to work with, in her hands are all the holy and scriptural studying materials, spiritual awakening.
Right.
You don't have to, you can study the Torah if you want, you can study the Bible if you want, but study it with an enlightened third eye so your eye is single and you're seeing what the truth is.
Right.
Behind the words that have been told you what they look like.
Right.
All kinds of interesting things you can study. Nothing will be boring. So we have the Queen coins reversed.
Oh, goodness.
Why do you say, oh, goodness, like it's a...
You said reverse. I said, well, I've been getting a lot of coins that push in a positive... Maybe I have a negative mindset.
Well, let's take a look. And I'm going to read it out of my amazing book that's falling apart after all these years. But I think there's something in here you need to hear. Oh, there we go. Opened right to it. Queen of Coins. You are reversed. Is there a suspicious woman or a distrusting person around you? Anybody who doesn't trust you? An interfering person, somebody who wants to control situations at all costs? If it's not a person, then it is a situation of suspicion, fear, and concern. A suspenseful situation in which you cannot be exactly sure who to trust or who can be trusted.
I feel like it's myself.
Okay. Yep. So, what gets in the way of you trusting yourself? Because we had trust yourself here too.
Right.
Yeah. So, what gets in the way of you trusting yourself?
I wouldn't say it. I would say growing up, not being able to know what I know, but then also like maybe I think it's just me being too hard on myself. 'Cause I feel
You've projected your past onto your future. I just saw it. You being younger, not knowing what to do at any given time, you're doing the same thing to yourself now. You've projected your past onto your future. I didn't know anything then. How am I going to know now? What am I going to know if I don't know? How am I going to make the right choice?
it's a reflection.
Yeah.
And that's why it's
Yeah. You're sabotaging yourself, buddy. By creating self-fulfilling prophecies of doom. You go out with good intent, but then once you get going, you talk yourself out of it.
You know something that's funny? Yesterday I went to the lake and there was like this cliff. And I was nervous. I was like, I'm gonna do the cliff. And sure enough, I made that jump. I didn't run and stop. I said, I'm gonna do it. I looked down, came back, I said, I'm gonna do it. And sure enough, when I ran, a part of me was like, don't do it. And a part of me was like, you know what? Not today. And I made the jump. I did it 3 times. I did the jump. But I noticed it was a fear that I didn't need to have.
Yeah, it was irrational. Yeah, an irrational fear. You really did need to do that for your own self.
That's why I did it.
You have a family?
Yes.
Wife?
No, but I want 3 kids.
Okay. And you have how many kids now? None. Okay. So, the Empress is in the position of what's going on around you and as well as other people's influence on your situation.
Right.
The Empress is she like rules the outside, the earth. She's from Venus. She's very loving, and she's also very pregnant. So that's why I asked you if you had children. She also has on her garment the same pomegranates that are on the garment, or that are on the veil behind the the high priestess here. So pomegranates are fertility. So if you be more merciful and more gentle on yourself, you will have growth. Fertility is growth. It fosters growth. Same with this here. Being gentle on yourself and expecting someone who wants to be gentle with you to come into your life.
I felt that.
Here you are, Page of Coins. Have a little bit of money, you want to invest in yourself, you just don't have a lot of experience. That's okay, young people aren't supposed to have a lot of experience. Don't put yourself against somebody who's 20 or 30 or 40 years older than you are.
I've been doing that for so long. I've been doing that. Like, even my favorite artist, I would do it. I would write lyrics, but I'd be like, it doesn't compare to him. But a part of me would be like, but he's been doing it for 20-something odd years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dedication and time they put into their craft.
Dedication.
I think it's like a sense of passion.
How dedicated are you? Are you dedicated enough to do something for 7 years and not make any money on it? And go through the highs and lows? And I'm going to tell you why I'm asking you this. I have a son who's been dedicated to a project for 7 years. And he's been told, yeah, I'm going to buy your stuff. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm not. And he's finally getting a few non-disclosure agreements, and people are interested in it. But he hit his target audience. So in whatever you're doing, target your audience. And you won't have to go through so much. Mind you, he had a lot of stuff he had to go through to clean up his own personal life.
Right.
But target the right audience. Had he gone to Earth Expo 7 years ago because it's an ecological project, they would have gone, yeah. But would he have been ready for it then?
No.
Exactly. And maybe that's what's happening with you.
And the funny thing is, though, damn, I'm trying not to lose it. It was like, I told myself, and it's a drive I have in me. It's a strange, the drive I have for the stuff I want to do. I said I could die with 2 pennies to my name, but as long as I feel fulfilled,
Yeah.
I think that's all that matters.
That's what it is. Yeah. Does your passion fulfill you? Does it meet your need for fulfillment?
I would question it. But part of me wants to say yes, but I feel like it's just an internal battle of me saying it's not going to work. But I fight it every day, but I feel like it doesn't have to be a battle.
Yeah. Just say there's no more fight here. There's no more fight. You've killed that part. You know, here's another way to look at this. I've had a very toxic upbringing with my mother, sister, brother. I came to the conclusion a few months ago that they killed the person they wanted to hurt. And I put a thing on my Instagram, thank you for crushing me, now I see my essence. If you crush yourself, no one else will have to. If not, someone else will come crush you. People are always willing to crush another person to make them feel more empowered. But I don't have to go back to that.
I don't.
I'm done. You don't either. You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to stab your own self in the back because nobody else is. You can be your own best friend and not your own worst enemy. That's who you're supposed to be. Your own best friend, not your own worst enemy. Nice. 2 of Cups. We were talking about having passion, correct?
Correct. Don't tell me that's what popped up.
Yes, sir. That's what popped up.
Hot darn it.
2 of Cups. Yeah. Having passion. Having passion. And we're going back to our question. What can I do to make me more aware of the unknown? Have the passion to be aware. Have the passion, the drive to want to see through that third eye. When you get your first third eye vision, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so great. You're never going to want to go back to the world you knew before, but it's still going to be here and you still got to deal with it.
I always felt like I kept thinking, but see, then that comes from the trust within self. I feel like it's like egotistical sometimes the way I think. I feel like no matter what no one else does, I can do it better. But then part of me is like, well, if you do it, I must say, but you don't have the experience, you don't have the knowledge to do it. But I believe I can do it. Like, I'm ambitious.
But how about modifying that thought process to, I can do it from my perception of what is better. That does not discount what their perception of what was better for them.
Right.
So both people can be right simultaneously. I will do it from my perspective of what was better for me and those I'm here to reach.
Okay.
And it's not egotistical. The ego in its inception was originally created to warn us when a lion was coming, stop us from falling off a cliff. It was there to teach us, make sure you eat, take care of yourself.
Right.
But, through generations and generations, the ego has pretty much lost its job because there are food establishments on every corner. Any wild animals in jail, you may have to watch out for, an enemy of mankind, which is mankind himself. But for the most part, that ego's job is no longer viable. So now it wants to run amok in your head and tell you how things are going to be going and how they're going to work out and how you're going to feel about it. Your job is to tell the ego, just because I have a thought does not mean the thought is true. So I'm going to show you what you're doing. You have a thought, which is an idea.
Correct.
Not all thoughts are true, but you're going to think about that thought.
Yes, ma'am.
And then if you're not paying attention, you're going to tell a story about that thought.
Oh, God. I do it all the time. I'm trying to learn to let thoughts be thoughts, but sometimes it's hard.
Yep. So that's why you have to really filter those thoughts here when it's a thought. Is this thought true? Oh my gosh, just because I did that, this is going to happen. Oh, I know it's happened before. I can't believe I did this again. And that's how the ramblings start.
And for you're in it for hours and days and months.
No. Because now you know the pattern. These are all patterns.
Hot damn it. I kept saying, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I kept telling myself when I used to live in the house, I keep saying, find the trend. I keep saying, find the trend.
Everything's an algorithm. Everything is a pattern. Everything is.
I keep saying, find the trend. But it seems like I know it before I know it. But like, I don't know it till later on.
You don't perceive it. That's why I'm telling you need to get that third eye active. Meditation, focused breathing. Insight Timer is a good one to listen to. And it's a guided meditation. So it will teach you how to listen to thoughts that are appropriate and overlay thoughts that are inappropriate, that are no longer serving you. Because you're listening too much to thoughts that aren't serving you just because it's a habit. Habits happen. So your first pattern is trust yourself, follow through, stick to the plan, have dedication and passion. Boom. How do you make your business a success? Right there.
Find the passion and be willing to work and be patient with myself and trust in myself that everything's going to be okay.
Yep. And then the pattern of sabotage, because here's the sabotager comes in now. I have a thought. Oh my God, thought might be true. What if it is true? Then nobody will like me. I'll be a failure.
And before I know it, I'm down a rabbit hole.
Yep. I had all the same pattern. Interesting. Everybody does. It's common to man. Oh, here, take a picture. Oh, well, when you're finished, you can take a picture.
All right.
But yeah, it's common. These are things that are common to man. It's just shit that happens.
Being human.
Yeah. And we're going to be human until we're divine, so you might as well get used to it.
I can't stand being human.
Yeah, I used to gripe to God about that all the time.
I can't stand it. I feel like my weakest form is that I'm human. I feel like that's my. I feel like that.
So let's use it against you. Let's turn around and figure out how to be the best human we can be.
Okay.
Good deal. Fixed all that now. Now all you have to do is that sheet.
I don't know how the hell you did it.
I don't know either.
Every time we talked about something, the dang card popped up. I can give you your credit. You do a very good job.
Well, thank you. I think you did a very good job as well. You processed. Your job was to come here and process what I saw and what came up in the cards. And you're doing it. Now you're going to take this information and activate it through the connection of the mind to the brain and rewrite the old tapes that you put in your head. And that's our hour.
You won. Hot dadgummit.
Right on track, right? I love it when a thing wraps up beautifully.